What is going on, everybody, and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. My name is Sean, aka ELYYT, and if you're new to the channel, welcome in. Today, we've got another episode of Trading to Glory, and I want to start off by apologizing for not being able to stream all the time in the last couple of days. I want to go live daily, but I'm working a couple different jobs right now, and hopefully we'll be able to do this full time within a couple of months. The growth has been absolutely amazing, and thank you to everybody who's been supporting, because it's really helping me out right now, and I want to keep doing this, and I want to keep providing content, and I want to make content full time, and that's ultimately the goal. And you guys are really making that closer and closer to a reality for me, and I cannot be more blessed about that. Today's episode is going to cover this week's trading and investing, basically going over the prices of if it's high-rated meta, low-rated meta, high-rated fodder, low-rated fodder, and where are those cards going to end up in terms of price in the end of the week. So let's start with the cards that we've talked about in previous episodes. First of all, you guys know I picked up a ton of Halstenbergs, and I got them all for, I'd say, an average overall of 2,000 coins. And you can see I've doubled my coins on Halstenberg. So I bought 53 of them, which adds up to 106,000 coins, and overall I should be getting back about 212,000 coins. So pretty much doubling our coins on the Halstenberg investment. That's really nice. And then you can see I've got a couple of Gigos and Hanin. I got those cards for like 2 to 2.5k. Nothing special, but that is from the squad battle rewards trading. And there is a trading method to go along with that. Unfortunately, I've been busy every Sunday night, so I have been giving you guys the guide for which players to bid on. Gigo and Hanin are on those, along with like 70 to 100 other players every week. But I haven't been able to execute on this profit myself. Hopefully you guys have been able to do so. Now, I'm not going to cover that trading method in this episode. I have in the past, and I will in the future when I get a chance to actually, demonstrate the methods myself for you guys to watch live. But it really comes down to when squad battle rewards come out and taking advantage of that supply. I just haven't been able to be on FIFA during that time. But we're making some investments, selling our Halstenbergs, because they're going to come back on packs on Wednesday. He's out of packs right now, which means that if there's another SBC on Monday, another SBC on Tuesday, they could go up a little bit higher, but I'm taking double the price. I mean, getting 200% on a card that you bought is always very good. Some of the best investments you can make are 200% back. So I definitely was very happy about that investment. But let's go ahead and talk about the cards we're investing coming up this week. One of the biggest things is Weekend League is going to start Thursday night, Friday morning, depending on your time zone. But Weekend League brings a ton of demand for people building their teams. If you want to compete in Weekend League, you got to put some good cards in your squad so that you compete with other God squads that you're definitely going to inevitably come up against in Weekend League. And let's be real, that is the mentality for a lot of people that play Weekend League, which is going to bring up the prices of those guys on Wednesday and on Thursday. Now, why is the reason that I think Thursday normally rises more? It's because of division rival rewards, and in the future, division rival rewards and Weekend League rewards are both on Thursday or Wednesday night. Again, depending on your time zone. I think like Hawaii would be Wednesday night, but everybody else would be on Thursday. And that's when the rewards drop. With those rewards, you might say, well, that's a ton more supply. Sure, you're not wrong, but really what comes with it is more buying power. And when you have more buying power, that's going to bring prices up, especially this early in the game. You're going to see a huge effect on the market from those rival rewards. But here's one other thing to consider. Every single promo, every single opportunity to invest has been pretty over-invested in. And when I say that, I mean the community is really trading. They're trying, The community wants to get involved. The people that don't normally trade are back for a couple weeks before they give up again. And hopefully that's not you guys. Hopefully you're in it for the long run, but we're always staying one step ahead on this channel. If the entire community is saying sell on Thursday because everything's going to be up in price, that's not going to be the case. And what you'll want to do is sell on Wednesday. Get it out early. You're going to have late investors coming in on Wednesday, expecting the market to rise on Thursday, and then the market may actually drop Thursday. I think it's going to be a very weird week. I do expect in the future Thursdays are going to be a time where things rise. This week, however, weekend league rewards or weekend league demand, I mean, it really is all week. People are going to start building their teams before Thursday, at least a lot of them. I mean, there might be some guys that are late to the party and building their teams on Thursday, sure, but they'll be building it all week. So there's going to be demand Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, it's probably the most hyped up weekend league of the year. Let's be real. The first weekend league is everybody still, doesn't hate the game. They actually want to give it a chance. By the end of the weekend, there's going to be a lot more people that hate FIFA 21. I mean, it's inevitable. FUT Champs is toxic. No matter how good the gameplay or how bad the gameplay is, it's not a fun experience for most people. But the first weekend league, everybody wants to play in it, right? So that is going to have demand all week this week. So some cards I picked up for that, as you saw on my transfer list, you've got a Heung-min Son. I really like this investment because I've seen him rise and drop pretty often. He's 87 rated, so you could argue that is pretty high rated meta. I'd say anything 84 and above is high rated meta, anything 83 and below, low rated, but there's still a big difference between an 83 Gareth Bale and a 77 rated Adama Traore. I mean, the difference is going to be staggering in terms of the supply of 77s versus 83 rated cards, but it's also staggering between 84 and 87 or 87 and 91. Very different supply depending on the packs that are open. And I picked up a lot of 87s, but I also dabbled in some 83s. I got my Heung-min Son for 250k. I'm hoping to get 285 or more out of this card. Get a little bit of profit. We know there's going to be about 15k tax at 300,000 coins. So if I sold for 285, that means I'm probably going to get 271 after tax, and that's 21k profit on that Heung-min Son. And I might only have to hold him for 2 or 3 days because I'm probably, as I said, going to sell on Wednesday. And I think that might be the move for most of us, just to guarantee the profit. Let's not wait until the event happens. Let's not wait till Thursday happens and take a risk. Let's sell into that hype and go ahead and take that profit and guarantee it this week. The number one rule for guaranteeing profit is selling into the hype. I'm not saying that's always the right move to take, because sometimes if you don't sell into the hype, you might have actually come out to the event, whether it's an SBC, whether it's Thursday demand, weekend league rewards, div rival rewards, squad battle bidding, a new promo, whatever it is, whatever that event is. Sometimes it pays off to hold the cards, but I'd say it's like 5 to 10% of the time. It really is not that often where it actually works out. But when it does, it sometimes can be big bank. I'm not saying it's always best to sell into the hype, but if you do consistently sell into the hype, you're always guaranteeing profit, never taking a risk, and you're going to gradually make coins that way in a very safe manner. You're not putting your profit in the hands of EA. You're not putting your profit in the hands of over-investors. You are strictly being smart about it and taking that profit. And that's why I'm going to be selling on Wednesday. Jadon Sancho, he's 87 rated as well, which is pretty high rated. Definitely not anywhere close to the level that Heung-min Son is at. I mean, if you compare the cards, Sancho, he's got better dribbling, but he's slower. He's got way worse shooting. He's got about the same passing and less physicality. I don't know how they're both 87 rated, because Heung-min Son also has that 5-star weak foot, and that pretty much illustrates the difference in the price between the two. But I've got about 4 or 5 of these Jadon Sanchos right here for about 30,000 coins, which is what he's going for right now. But that card throughout the week, before this little drop that we've seen over the weekend, he's been going for 35 to 37,000 coins. I even picked up a couple with a Hunter card on it, which means that they're going to sell a little bit more. And before I forget about that, we are going to talk a little bit about Hunter trading, or chemistry style trading. Right now it looks like he's going for about 32,000 coins. So the cards that I got for 30k and less, especially the ones with the Hunter card on it, they're going to be making us profit already. It's about 1,500, maybe 1,600 coin tax at this price, which means I'm making about 1,000 coins per card already. And I haven't even waited yet. I mean, this is literally an hour after I bought the cards. They're already on the rise a little bit. I expect him to go over 35,000 coins by Tuesday or Wednesday. So I like that Jadon Sancho card, but if you take a look at the card with a Hunter on it, it's actually a little bit more expensive. You can see how the Hunter card adds some value. He's already 34,250 coins, which adds about 2,500 in terms of value for that Sancho, which makes sense because the hunter cards themselves go for about 3,000 coins. So adding that amount of value to the card makes sense. But a lot of times, if you can just look up cards that you get used to their price, maybe it's Jadon Sancho, maybe it's just a normal, maybe it's a Richarlison, maybe it's a João Felix. Any attackers really are with the hunters. And it's the same concept with shadow cards, but with defenders. A shadow card and an Eder Militao, or a shadow card and a Bruno Perez, or a Kamara even. He's very cheap, but I'm sure that this method could work with Kamara as well. And that's Hassan Kamara right there. He is almost a discard price card. He is super low rated. He is very good, don't get me wrong. I really like this card. But given the fact that he's so low rated, he's actually quite cheap. And so he goes for about discard price. You can pretty much quick sell him for the price that you will be able to sell him for on the market. But if you take a look at Kamara with a shadow card, you can see there's nothing popping up. And at 1,600, there's nothing popping up. And at 2,600, there's nothing popping up. So you're adding a lot of value to this card just by adding a shadow. Now, I'm not saying it'll sell for 4,000 coins, but you can see the bid on this card for 2,500, which means that you're definitely getting 2,500 for this. I think you could probably sell it for about 3 pretty quickly with a shadow card on it. So you're going to look through some of these cards that you realize their price and what they go for with these chemistry styles on them, and you can make pretty good bank on those cards by themselves. So right now the cheapest one is 4,000 coins on it. So if you list it for 3,900, it might sell. I think you're guaranteed at least 3K. And a lot of times people won't realize that these are actually much more expensive with the chemistry styles on them than without a chemistry style. And it definitely depends on the chemistry style. The 2 examples I just gave you are the 2 most valuable chemistry styles. There's some that are slightly valuable, like Hawk, like Anchor, definitely has some value. And then there's a couple others that add a couple hundred coins of value to each card. And then there's some that really don't add any value. If you were to add a, let's say you were to add a sniper card to a center back, it's not going to increase the value of that center back whatsoever. In fact, I could see that maybe decreasing the value by like 100 coins, just because why would you do that with a center back? It just wouldn't make any sense and it wouldn't improve the card. Obviously, they can just change the chemistry style if they bought it, so it wouldn't decrease the price a ton. But when you add a chemistry style like a Shadow, or even a Catalyst, or a Hunter, or an Anchor, those are really some good chemistry styles right there. It adds a lot of value to each card. Another way you can trade with those guys are just going in and searching Shadow and seeing what's on the market. And one other filter you can add is Defender, because Shadow cards are normally added to Defenders. If you take a look at the market right now, you can see that there are literally no cards with a Shadow on it that are less than 2,500 coins, it looks like. That is the cheapest of any Defenders with a Shadow on it. Let's go ahead and check out what cards are without a Defender filter on. You can see they're a little bit cheaper, because adding a Shadow card to a guy named Ademi, I mean, that card still sucks really bad. So it's still probably not going to get bought for 2,500, but the Shadow card alone is going to add a little bit of value, and people will buy those cards for 1,900, 2,000, 2,100 is, it looks like, where they draw the line for these Shadows. I mean, I just don't understand why it adds too much value to a lot of these cards, but it's a good sniping filter firstly, and it's an even better bidding method. If you go out and just check on Defenders that have Shadow cards and go ahead and start placing bids, you're going to win some of them and you're going to make some bank. If you can pick up some of these cards that make sense, they've added Shadow cards to these guys right here, and they're usable cards. Skriniar, Cuadrado, Juan Bernat, Acuna, Mendy, Malcuit, all of these cards are usable guys in the game this year. So that Shadow card is definitely going to add about 2,500 coins to their cards individually. So if you wanted to buy a Cuadrado with a Shadow card on it and get him on bid for about the same price that he normally goes for, but it's with a Shadow, you are going to make profit on that card. So that is something to keep in mind to make some easy coins. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one last card that was on my transfer list and talk about some of the lower rated meta cards. Are they going to go up quite as much as the high rated meta cards? And let's also talk about, firstly, let's relist our Haustenbergs, because I keep relisting them for 4,000 coins. every now and then you get some that sell. As you can see, I've already sold about 22, 23 of them right now, and they go for about 35, 3,600. So I'm asking for about 400 or 500 more coins. Sometimes a lazy buyer will pick it up. I'm in no rush to sell this Halstenberg because I've got at least another 24 hours before I have to sell these cards and get them out of the club. I don't want to hold them to Tuesday because then you're going to see people that have them on the transfer list start to panic sell them. And then on Wednesday, he's back in pack. So that's going to affect the price significantly as well. But we've had some SBCs that have helped his price a ton. But there was one more card I picked up, which was Bergwijn. I also picked up one Davies here. We'll talk about him. But we got a Bergwijn right now. He obviously is a pretty good left mid in Premier League. He's pretty meta for this year, and I'm seeing him at 13,000 coins. This is another card that I've seen much higher in the past couple days. I even sniped one for 4,000 coins, which is going to make us a ton of profit, but the other ones should make us coins too. The one for 12k, 13k, all of these cards should make us profit because just yesterday, and the card had already dropped slightly, it was 17,000 coins. I can expect to sell this for 17k no problem. I think I can get 19, honestly, which would be a pretty big percentage of profit on Bergwijn. I don't know if he's risen at all yet. You saw that Sancho kind of went up. I don't know if Bergwijn has. He's not 13 anymore. He is 14, so he's barely gone up. He's gone up slightly. This card has. But that Bergwijn card, I can definitely see going up for Weekend League. I think these cards that are 82, 83 rated, 84 rated, they're still going to rise if they're meta. Like Bergwijn, Martial, those kind of guys. It's just going to be a little bit tougher for cards like Richarlison. It's going to be very tough for cards like Adama Traore, who's only 79 rated. I thought he was 77, so it's a little bit higher than I anticipated. But this is a big ask for a card that's only 79 rated. He's been going for about 25,000 coins, and he's holding his price pretty good, honestly. And you look back to previous years. Let's look back to one FIFA ago, the Ferland Mendy Phenomena. I mean, that card was 80 rated, and it was over 10k for months and months and months and months. I mean, it lasted till like June before it dropped below. It lasted like till team of the season before it dropped under 10k. I've never seen a card hold its value at such a low rating for so long. It could happen to Adama Traore, but you just gotta understand that they're going to be fighting against supply. And with a card with as many flaws as Adama Traore has, you've got a flaw in shooting. It's only 66. His long shots are 65. His finishing is 66. And it's really just not a great card. I mean, you look at the passing. It's 68, which means that if you pass with his strong foot, it's 68 passing. His short pass is okay. His long pass is terrible, okay? His vision's bad. His curve's bad. Crossing the ball is not going to be OP with him. And then if you do it with his weak foot at 2 stars, it's just got so many flaws. It's not like Ferland Mendy was, plus it's 1 rating lower. I think this card's going to get phased out a lot quicker. Whether he holds his value till this Thursday depends on supply. That's strictly what it depends on. If we get some tradable packs on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday from SBCs that like give 25k tradable packs or something like that, this Adama Traore will be negatively affected in terms of price because of that. If we don't get any supply and we gotta wait till Thursday before the division rival rewards come out, I think he could hold his price. I think he could. But I like high-rated metas better as investments. I wouldn't go this low-rated. Sure, he might rise a little bit, but why buy him rising a little bit when you know some of these high-rated metas are safe and they're going to rise a lot of it? You're going to make more profit on those kind of guys. That's why I'm staying away from Adama Traore. I'm not saying he's a bad card at this point in the game. He's rapid. People just want pace this early, and he's got great links. Don't get me wrong. It's just going to get phased out a lot quicker, and people are going to start upgrading those cards. And what is he going to upgrade to? They're going to upgrade to Raheem Sterling. They're going to upgrade to some of these high-rated wingers, at least Mahrez, maybe Bernardo Silva, etc. And those are the kind of cards that are going to hold their value for a little bit longer. Those low rateds, they're not. Especially a card like him. Too many flaws. Too many flaws with that card. All it takes is one cheap right mid from Premier League that comes out in an SBC or gets an inform, and it's over. And it's over for Adama Traore. Everything needed to be perfect for Ferland Mendy to be so expensive last year, and it was. Ferland Mendy was a usable card throughout several months. Started to get phased out a little bit into the year of 2020. Once you hit February and March, you saw a couple different options and he dropped in price. But that was like from 20K to 10K. Still had a lot of value for an 80 rated card. He had good physicality. He fit the meta. He had 4-star, 5-star. It was a ridiculously good 80 rated. And I think that should be looked at as an outlier. Straight up, I think it should be an outlier. I don't think we should use that as a baseline anymore. And I know I did for the Adama Traore because I wanted to make that comparison. But realistically, using that as a baseline is unrealistic. There are not going to be any cards like that this year that are just so perfect for so long that it holds the value. And you might say, well, maybe Eder Militao, maybe Richarlison. I don't see it happening, guys. Militao, first of all, you already have a replacement, Diego Carlos, immediately. There's two options that are pretty much the exact same card, center back in La Liga. And one of them is slightly better than the other, and that's Diego Carlos. You can see that reflected with his price. People want Diego Carlos, although Eder Militao has more supply, so maybe you could balance it out, say they're both even. That's fine. I think Diego Carlos is a little bit better. I think that's what most people think. And people are going to start buying Diego Carlos as he starts dropping in price, which means that Eder Militao has to start dropping in price. And then Richarlison, you look at that card and you're like, this is pretty good card. It's got 5-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, but his pace just isn't there. So immediately, once we start seeing these player of the month strikers come out, eventually you're going to get a very cheap one at striker, and then Richarlison's price is just dead. And it's going to happen for all these guys. But I digress. We're talking about this week, and I just still think high-rated metas are the way to go. Thinking about SBC fodders, I think what we should do for SBCs this week is, instead of trying to prepare for the requirements, I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, but I think we should focus instead on the complement links. As the squad building challenge get released, you see that some are more, I meant to go to squad building challenges here, some are more valuable than others in terms of squad building challenges. Some are cheaper, some are more expensive, and once you get that squad building challenge that's just meta, it looks like it could fit a lot of people's teams, and it's cheap, you're going to see a lot of people do it. Huang He-Chen is a good example of this, but he's not ridiculous. I mean, he's definitely a very, very good 77 rated. Possibly the best 77 rated this year in FIFA as a starter card. He's very, very good. But when you look at the complement links, I mean, there's nothing that's huge in terms of meta that you can link to him. I mean, you've got Sabitzer or, you know, maybe Heung-min Son, but those links really aren't that hefty. So it's not a great example. But if you take a look at maybe an Ansu Fati, who, although a little overpriced for a great example, Jordi Alba off of this is going to rise a ton. People do the Ansu Fati SBC, and then once they do the Ansu Fati SBC, they put him in their team, because that's why you do Ansu Fati, is because you're throwing him in your starting 11, especially at this point in the game. You're throwing him in your starting 11, and you got to make it work with your team. So Jordi Alba goes up in price. For sure. Maybe up by 25 to 40% in price. Huge profit. So you get on at 6p in UK. You log on to FIFA, you see what SBCs drop, and you look at some of these player SBCs, and you think, is that a good deal? Are people going to do this? And if the answer is yes, you look immediately and see what's the meta cards that link to that. What are the meta cards that link to that? Because 99% of the traders in the community are going to look at the requirements, and they're going to go try to panic buy all those cards, hoping that they go up really quick and they can get a quick buck. Which maybe they are able to get a couple coins, but the real coins are going to be made by the 1% of people that go out and look at Thiago Silva, and if this card had any pace at all, it would be good. So if this card had 75 pace and those stats, you might look at it and be like, all right, who do I need to get? Fabinho. That's going to be a green link. Who else could I get for this? Richarlison, possibly with a link. Maybe get Zuma. Zuma would link. He's pretty meta at the beginning of this year. Tomori, he's going to get a strong link. You look at maybe the fullbacks. You don't have too much to work with, but possibly Inform Chilwell. That could be an option. And you think about those options, and you quickly go out and say, all right, how are people going to fit this in the team? what's the link that everybody's going to use, and you go out and buy that link. And that's how you're going to make profit off of squad building challenges this week. Hopefully you guys learned something today, and hopefully you're going to make some coins this week. If you guys have any questions, always join the Discord, all right? Even if I don't answer you directly, and I try to answer a lot of questions down there, but even if I don't answer you, you're going to get a lot of help from other traders in the community and other traders that watch the channel. So you can check out that link to the Discord right down below. Follow my other social medias. I'm streaming on Twitch as much as I possibly can. Whenever I find time, I'm live on Twitch trading, answering questions live. You guys can get in on that. Go ahead and check out the links down below and drop a like on the video if you haven't yet. If you made it this far into the video, do me a favor and drop a like. I appreciate you guys for making it this far into the video. And that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.